Hi everyone, welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel if you've been here before. Please subscribe if you haven't yet already. It's a red button beneath me somewhere, and if you click on that, you'll be subscribed. There's also a white bell next to that, and if you click on that, you'll get an alert every time I upload new content. And if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. That would make me very happy. Today's video is the 14th in a series where I am taking looks from the Rae Morris Makeup Masterclass book, and I am taking the steps that she is giving me and am using my own skin type, skin tone, makeup collection, techniques that I prefer, things like that, and I am following the steps. Today's look is called Blue Steel, I think because the model has a really beautiful blue eyes, because there's nothing about this look that is blue. Even the additional steps that I didn't take are purple and kind of smoky black. So if you'd like to see how I got this look, please keep watching. Step one, prep the skin, which I've done, and then interestingly, it's conceal the inner corners of the eyes, which I will do using my Maybelline Instant Age Rewind in Neutralizer, and just not clear on why. I've never, in all of the looks that I've done with her, she rarely conceals or rarely suggests that you conceal, and when she does, it's generally kind of conceal where necessary. Then we are applying a light wash of foundation to the eyelids and then powder. So what I'm going to do instead of doing that is I'm going to use my MAC Paint Pot in Painterly, and I've hit jar on this. Hello, you're all bearing witness to me having hit jar on this. So because this is so close to my natural skin tone, I'm going to use this because it's going to, so one of the things that she talks about is that makeup is ephemeral and it's not meant to kind of stay on your face all the time. And obviously you wash it off unless you have, you know, your eyebrows tattooed on or something like that. But I think there are things that you can do to make things last longer. And using primers for me, primers and setting sprays for me make a significant difference. And this, the most recent kind of Prolongwear paint pot, used to be just a paint pot, but the Prolongwear nature of it makes it, for me, cause the shadow to stick around longer. So I did that instead. Yeah, she does talk a lot about the fact that you should always plan on kind of keeping pencils and lipsticks and whatever around because makeup kind of disappears. Then I'll powder it because she does say to powder it, and I will do that to set it. And I'm just using a ColourPop brush to do that. And all right. And I know why she's doing the foundation. She's doing it because it's a very simple eye look. And if you weren't using foundation or something, you might get discoloration, or you might see discoloration on your lid. So it does make sense that she's doing that, but that's the reason why I chose a different product, just to have more longevity. Then we are using a medium point shader brush to apply a wash of taupe eyeshadow under the eye, keeping it quite straight to make the eye look larger. So for that, I'm going to use this dual-sided Sephora brush. It has a smudger on one side and a liner on the other. She's not saying to use a liner brush, but that's what I'm going to use. And I'm going to use some MAC Fix Plus. And for color, a wash of taupe. And I'm not going to use it as a wash because I'm going to be concealing later. And I'm confused about what she's saying. She's saying to apply a wash of taupe eyeshadow under the eye and to keep it straight. And a wash for me doesn't seem straight. So I'm going to apply kind of a line and make it be straight. And I'm going to use ColourPop Take the Lead to do that. And tapping off, even though I don't have foundation on and fallout's not a big deal, but I have already prepped my face. So I am applying it just close to my lower lash line. And all of this, the keeping it straight thing, I guess, is to make the eyes look larger, is what she's saying. And I guess also the lining of it, lining your eyes kind of all around like this, even if you're not doing it with a dark color, like a black, does make your eyes look larger. Then using a bigger rounded brush, apply a full wash of the same color over the eyelid. As you do this, intensify the socket and just pull it out a bit at the corner of the eye, so to kind of begin to give the suggestion of a wing. So I'm going to use the same color, and I'll use a Sephora Pro Crease brush. And it's interesting that we are using a rounded brush to apply shadow to the lid that I am using, that she is using and telling me to use. a rounded brush for the lid. I guess I'm used to using kind of a flat, fluffy brush to apply shadow to the lid, and then a pointed or like a crease brush for my crease. And we're intensifying the socket and pulling it out a bit at the corner of the eye. So I put a little bit more on my brush. I'm just gonna run a little more in the socket, and I'm just gonna pull it out like that a little bit. So just a suggestion of it. Same on the other eye, and I am picking up more color and tapping it off. All right, that is that. All right, step 2 is to use a lash line smudger and take a mid-brown eyeshadow and apply it really close to the lower lash line. Keep the line as straight as possible to make the eyes look bigger. So kind of the same thing, and I probably should have used a bigger brush before, but I don't want a lot of shadow under my eye, and that's kind of the reason why I'm doing this whole project, is to take the steps that she's suggesting, but changing them for myself. So I'm gonna use the same brush, and I'm not gonna clean it off, and I'm gonna use ColourPop Conundrum, and I'm just gonna go in and kind of go over the same line that I went over before with the Take the Lead. And interesting, because she's not being specific about how far to go. With a lot of these looks, she's very specific with how far you should be going. And with this, she's not. So I'm just going all the way, like really all the way. And then using the same color with a medium point shader brush, create a socket and pull it out, blending in with the color from under the eye. Still using Conundrum, and I'm going to use, this is a Makeup Geek pointed crease brush, it's smaller. And I am putting that in my socket, and I'm bringing it all the way down and kind of making, I guess, a more elaborate V. Not a V connecting my upper eye in here, but like a V with my socket and then coming down here. Same on the other eye. So deepening that up and then bringing it kind of just down here. Then we are applying a creamy white pencil to the inner rim. I'm going to use OCC Feathered. OCC, I think, is out of business. It's a giant bummer. I like them. I like their lip tars. I love this pencil. I don't know if I have a backup of it. Their nail polishes. I don't know what's happening. I don't know if they're going out of business or if something's changing, but their website is down, and all the places that I used to buy it. I used to buy OCC at Beautylish, I think, is the only place that I really ever bought it at. But I feel like it was at Nordstrom too. And I can't find it anywhere. So any white pencil would do, but this is my favorite because it kind of applies immediately. There are a lot of white pencils that just take a lot of work, and this one applies pretty quickly. Then, that's interesting, we are now curling our lashes and applying mascara. So the liner's going to happen next. So I'm going to curl my lashes, and I'm going to use Essence Lash Princess. This is the green one. I've heard really good things about this one. I will speed you through my lashes. All right, that's done. Step 3, and I don't totally understand this. She's saying to use an eyeliner brush to apply liquid liner. And I only ever use a brush to apply gel. I use whatever the applicator is inside of the product to apply a liquid. Maybe that's because, actually this wouldn't work. So this is amazing. This is one of my new favorite black eyeliners. And this is the Smashbox Always On liquid eyeliner. So I guess if you were a professional makeup artist and you needed to be using liquid eyeliner, you'd be using, dipping a fresh brush into the liner, but you couldn't do it with this. And a lot of liquid liners, you can't dip anything into there. So I'm not going to use a brush. I'm going to use this, which is fantabulous. Apply a top liquid eye line, and then she's using her sticky tape technique on the side to get the perfect flick. Pull the line out more than up to give the line more width. So I'll be aiming kind of going out instead of going up. I will speed you through this. All right, liner's done. And I didn't mention the thing that she said about the sticky tape technique. What she does, and some people do this with tape and also with Post-it notes, is put them on your face so that you have kind of like a stencil. And I didn't do that. Then we are applying foundation all over, and I'll use my Fenty 190 for that. I'll speed you through that. And then lightly conceal. So I'll use the same Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Neutralizer under my eyes. And she's not saying to set it, but I am going to set it with more of the Kat Von D Lock-It powder. And that. All right, that is set. Then we are contouring and powdering all over. For contour, I'm going to use also Fenty. This is the Fenty Matchstick in Amber. And I'll apply it to kind of the cheekbone area of my cheek. And I'm using, I love this brush. This is a Sephora foundation brush. It's a number 47 and it's kind of curved. And it's just a nice way to blend. And typically if she's suggesting contour, typically what Rae Morris will do is the contouring areas are your cheeks, your kind of jawline, your nose, like the sides of your nose, and your like hairline if your forehead is exposed. And because mine isn't, I don't have to do that. Or I could do it, but I'm not going to do it. So then she's saying, you know, contour and then powder, and I'm gonna powder after I bronze, which I'm gonna do. She says that she's used bronzer on the cheeks, and I'm going to use Becca Bali Sands. And I'm using this Real Techniques blush brush. And she also says, and I'm gonna also do it on my nose, kind of where the sun, maybe on my forehead, all the places that the sun would naturally hit me. She says if you've got a paler skin tone than the model, don't use bronzer, instead apply a slightly pinker cheek. I think that she and I are pretty similar in tone, and I don't use bronzer much, so it's nice to have a reason to do it. Now I'll powder. And for that, I will use my Cover FX Perfect Setting Powder. Just kind of everywhere, just to kind of set everything down. All right, then step 4 is to define the eyebrows. And she says that she's used an eyebrow powder with a brow definer brush. I'm gonna do something a little bit more high maintenance here. I'm gonna do a dip brow pomade powder concealer combo. So first I'm gonna go in with my Anastasia dip brow pomade in dark brown, and I'm using an angled brush. And I'm just gonna fill in my brows with this. I'll speed you through it. It's pretty obvious, but it takes a little time. So I'll see you on the other side of the pomade part of it. All right, that's done. Then I'm gonna go in with the Anastasia Brow Powder Duo in Chocolate. And what I'm doing, I'm using the same brush, and I'm kind of hitting it in the middle. So I'm not taking the dark and I'm not taking the light. I'm kind of taking a little bit of both. And all I do now is I pick it up and I just kind of apply it over where I've applied the pomade, just to kind of deepen the color a little bit. Not an expert by any means, but I was feeling like my brows they weren't terrible. And I definitely don't have to do this all the time. I still am a fan of the brow pencil, which for me is, I end up getting thinner brows and just less high maintenance brows, but this is fun. It should be fun, yeah? So I'm just applying the powder over the pomade and then the concealer, which is maybe not anything that I want to be doing for this look because it's not, the brows are not as maybe chiseled, but I'm gonna do it anyway. So I'm gonna use another angled brush, and for this I use my Glossier Stretch Concealer in Light, and you can probably even see that there are places in there where there has been a brush, maybe. And what I do is I pick up a little of this, and then I put it under my brow, and then a little more. Because I've used under eye pencils or underbrow pencils before, but it never seemed to be kind of sharp enough. And then what I do is I come up and I kind of bring it down a little bit because I don't want it to be that sharp. and then I use my finger. So the line up right next to the brow ends up being really sharp, but then it kind of fades. It just feels a little bit thick here. I wouldn't want to leave that. So I'm blending it with my finger or something like that would not give me the same kind of definition that I'm looking for. So brows are done. Then we are applying a creamy nude lip. And for that, I'm going to use, this is so nice. It's maybe a little bit too dark, but this is Besame Dusty Rose. This is from the Agent Carter collection. I'll put a link in the description box down below to my unboxing of the Agent Carter box. I'll speed you through my lipstick application. All right, so that's lipstick. And then the last step is to highlight the Cupid's bow with a little bit of gold. And I'm not sure what that means. I'm not sure if it's highlighter or what. I'm gonna actually use gold. I'm going to use ColourPop Rosé All Day. And I'm just gonna use my ring finger. I don't want it to be a glitter bomb. What's happening there? It's pretty subtle. And then she's also saying, dust some gold shimmer powder over your shoulders and collarbone or anywhere your skin will be exposed. I don't have any gold shimmer powder, but I guess I could do that. There are extra steps here that I'm not going to follow. They are applying a kohl liner in your waterline, applying a dark purple shadow and smudging into the lower lash line, basically kind of smoking and purpling everything up, reapplying lots of clumpy mascara. There's also a dewy skin finish option where you take off your foundation and then apply kind of a dewy primer and make it more dewy. But this is what the finished look looks like on the title page, and this is what I want to do. So I'm going to leave it at this. And thank you so much for watching. I am really, really, really enjoying doing this series, and it is challenging me and just making me kind of move past my comfort zone, which is, even if I end up looking pretty similar to how I normally look, it's still, I'm using different techniques and whatnot. So thank you so much for watching. A lot to do in the world and a lot to do on YouTube, and it means a lot that you spend some time with me. Take care, and I'll see you again very soon. Bye.